Yes, indeed. It is still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions right here on Flow 94.9 FM. I told you that it's an extended version of the program. And the first half, we're done. That this is the second half. And I also told you that we will be speaking with the Abia governorship candidate that emerged over the weekend. That was yesterday. In the person of the founder and the Chancellor of Gregory University, Uturu, Professor Gregory Ibe, who emerged as the governorship candidate of the All Progressive Grand Alliance for the 2023 general elections. We will look at the matters arising. Of course, there are still some intrigues playing out, trailing his emergence as the governorship candidate of the All Progressive Grand Alliance for the 2023 general elections in Abia State. Professor Ibe polled 283 votes to defeat other contestants, including his closest rival, Etigwe, who scored 148 votes. Then the two other contestants, Ijoma and Chikwo Udense, scored 36 votes and 13 votes respectively. We get to look at what he has in stock for Abians now that he has gotten the ticket. And there are some controversies surrounding his emergence. We understand that there was another primary that took place somewhere in Umuahia. We are going to look at that and the processes that led to his emergence. It is the platform. Welcome on board, the pinnacle of all discussions on Flow 94.9 FM. Let's take the political update, look at what is happening across the country, of course, as far as politics is concerned. And we will be back to delve into the interview proper this morning on the platform on Flow FM.
This is Political Update. Former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi has advised his supporters in the country to avoid personal attacks on perceived political opponents. Obi, who is one of the political gladiators seeking to succeed President Muhammadu Buhari in 2023, thanked his supporters for standing with him and however appealed to them to imbibe the spirit of sportsmanship and avoid name-calling or personal attacks on other aspirants and candidates. Some senior advocates of Nigeria and civil society organizations have condemned the Independent National Electoral Commission for extending the deadline for political parties to conduct their primaries. Human rights lawyer Femi Falana said INEC's decision to extend the deadline after the APC postponed its screening for presidential aspirants was suspect and advised INEC to redeem itself ahead of the 2023 polls. The People's Democratic Party PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has pledged to unify the country following his victory in the party's primary poll. He accused the ruling All Progressive Congress APC of mismanaging the country but promised to fix the economy and tackle Nigeria's security challenges. Atiku also called on fellow contestants to work with him and ensure that PDP retakes power in next year's exercise.
I made a commitment to 5 issues to pledge to unify this country, and that was why I referred myself as a unifier. The reason why I feel and I felt that unity is very important for us is because the government of the APC has disunited Nigerians completely between north and south, east and west, Muslims and Christians. And I therefore pledge that I will work to ensure I restore unity and I give a sense of belonging to all Nigerians.
The All Progressive Congress APC in Abia State has conducted its state and Federal House of Assembly and House of Representatives primaries across the constituencies in the state. Announcing the results on the party secretariat in Uzuakolu Road, Umuahia, the chairman, APC Electoral Committee for Abia State House of Assembly and House of Representatives respectively, Felicia Agwabata and Peter Ikeloa, lauded the conduct of the primaries, describing it as peaceful, free and fair.
Accredited voters, Emerson Charles 20, Mother Kolanke 014, Chika Ukandu 1, Anthony Chinasa 0, Kenneth Adiyibe 0.
It was very peaceful, very free and fair. Really proud of Abia people. They came out to really vote. The only thing is that what I was aware of, I conducted an election and it was free and it was fair. I never ever knew about the other parallel election.
However, crisis saw an abrupt end of the rescheduled APC Abia Central Senatorial Zone primary election between Simon Nibo and Henrico, as they could not settle the differences arising from the number of accredited delegates who were supposed to participate in the exercise. And our political update, I am Wisdom. Thomas.
Well, thank you so much, Wisdom Thomas, for bringing us up to speed on the happenings as far as politics is concerned in this country, Nigeria. Well, in a season, fast-paced development are being witnessed across the country in the name of the build-up to the 2023 polls. As you know, it simply remains expedient that Nigerians, especially Abians, interrogate the issues that are driving the political discourse and what are the issues that define the incoming political leaders at the state right here, the God's own state. And one may ask, it is imperative to ask this question. It is supported by the quote from the great French president, General Charles de Gaulle, who stated that, "I have come to the conclusion that politics are too serious a matter to be left to politicians." And that's why we're doing this morning. The emergence of Professor Gregory Ibe as the candidate of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, there are some critical questions to be asked, of course, because it will shape our world. I mean, whoever becomes the next governor of Abia State will decide the path of growth. I mean, the level of growth that the state will experience for the next 4 years. So joining me this morning virtually is Professor Gregory Ibe, the founder and the chancellor of Gregory University and the governorship candidate of the All Progressive Grand Alliance. Glad to have you join us, Prof. Good morning to you and welcome to the platform on Flow FM.
Thank you, Oni. Good morning.
All right.
And good morning to my brothers and sisters in Abia.
All right, let's begin the conversation. How do you feel as it stands now? I know the last time you were here, you spoke to the delegates, you spoke to the conscience of the delegates, you spoke about your achievements in the private sector, now politics. How do you feel being the candidate of the All Progressive Grand Alliance?
First, I thank God Almighty for bringing me up to serve my state, Abia. I want to thank God. It wasn't an easy contest, because we had great men of Abia participate in the primaries. It goes to show the Almighty God, as we normally acclaimed and say that Abia is God's own state. God wants to take over his by getting us into the as a candidate. So we thank God and thank all Abians across board, because my being candidate across every family, and I cannot believe what happened yesterday on the streets of Umuahia, all leading us to Uturu. This morning, people left their Umuahia and they drove us back. So I know that Abians have come to affirm, like Ellie said, what Charles God did say, becoming over delegate to allow Abia to remain in the hands of politicians that has no idea about it. So that's why the Abians, I know that they believe I, also Gregory Ibe, a human capital development expert, a man that has an address, a man that they have seen what he does, a man that has evidence-based proofs across West Africa, across the world, is coming now with an idea to awaken the entire Abia state in all sectors of development. So that's why I'm so happy being the candidate of Abia and the candidate of all Abians.
All right, Prof, let's talk about your emergence and the processes that led to you being the candidate of the All Progressives Congress. There are so many intrigues. Of course, I'm sure you're aware of that. You cannot say you are not aware of what played out yesterday. At some point, another candidate during the process, of course, that took place at during the process, rather, there was another process that was held at the Villa Roy Hotel, while the one that led to your emergence was ongoing at Coping Society in Umuahia. How will you react to that? Parallel Congress leading to your emergence, and the question of who is the authentic candidate of the All Progressive Grand Alliance in Abia State is being asked by some Abians as we speak.
My brother Oni, there was no parallel congress so far as Abia is concerned.
Okay.
There are things, your earlier statement that there was issues surrounding my emergence. There was no issue. I was rather afraid of my situation because of the threats that we have received before the primaries. So the team who gave it to God, I say, God, take position matter. We arrived the center early enough by 11 o'clock, and I sat in the car and waiting for the arrival of all our people. But when the 4 candidates arrived, I was told to come where they are, so I drove to them, and I saw our big brother Udesi. I saw Jerry Joma. I also met
Tigwewa,
pleasantries, and we were trying to look at the arrangement being made because the whole world, all the delegates were already within the coping center.
Yes.
So, and we waited, and they said we should all sit down. Then the electoral committee that came from Abuja brought us, all of us together, and gave us their guideline for the conduct. Each person amongst us, they would ask you questions and you answer. All of us agreed and accepted the guideline and the procedure and process that they're going to adopt. They took decision based on our contribution, and we said, okay, let us address all delegates. That is what they agreed.
Okay.
Just should move all delegates to the point where they will be accredited. Then all to go and talk. We had argument. How many minutes are we going to speak? Ijoma said 20 minutes to 30 minutes. If you multiply 20 to 30 minutes by 4,
that's about 2 hours.
Yes. Udesi said 10 minutes. Me, I said, well, if the presidential things that were TV takes 5 minutes, why address delegates whom we have already, in one way or the other, visited in local governments? Why should we use 10-20 minutes to address them? So the chairman and SAN, HS is an SAN. So for me, you know, this family of SAN, my mind was beaten. I said SAN is the chairman and SAN is one of the contestants that are aspirant. So okay. I said, since I'm not SAN, I'm a human capital development expert. Nobody will answer for me because lawyers have their ways. So I said he finally agreed for 5 minutes. We are all moved to where the delegates were. I was still in the car, and they drew amongst them who is going to speak first. The next thing I heard where I was seated is that the person to address the delegates is Professor Gregory, the number 1. So I came and stood and reminded the delegates I didn't even finish the 5 minutes. 3 minutes, I spoke to the delegates because I have been and I've served Nigeria in the various presidential electoral committee, and I've been a director in presidential campaigns. So in 3 minutes, I informed them that I have stood for Abians. During the COVID, There's no ward in the state that I did not stand with when they needed food. Last Christmas and all the Christmas, I tend to send food to all Abians because I know how it is to come from a poor family background. To have a cup of rice to eat during the festive period used to be very difficult. So I didn't want any family to stay without eating. I sent money. I made sure people are okay. So I told them, look, Abia State have 4 aspirants with me here. Today is the choice you are going to make to choose any one of us. And we want to thank the committee that came from Abuja. And then we want to thank the State Working Committee for arranging what we are here to do today. I thanked them and left the stage. They called General Ijoma. General Ijoma came and spoke, gave his own. They brought Saudensi. He came and spoke to the delegates. And they brought Etigbe also spoke. So first round of the electoral committee program was achieved, and now is left for inspection of the list of the delegates for which they are going to use to conduct the primaries. I did go to the hall with them. I asked my DG to please go, and I was right there in the car praying to Almighty, reciting my rosary, and then sitting down and asking God, today is your day. Make a name for yourself for Abians. Later they said they are done with the list of delegates, and they went to make copies. Later they said all aspirants should come inside the hall. Problem they have in the hall about chairs. Then we have to call the managers, and the arrangement of chairs that will make up to 600 chairs were made and chairs were brought. So when I came, we started taking pictures. So the press people started taking pictures, and behind us was Udensi, and we tell him join the pictures. He said we should finish the first round, and we tell him anyway, the cameras were getting you behind. Then after the picture taken, he came to me and said, this is the second time he's speaking to me. First time he told me, why do I have to carry the pains of a surgery to and want to be in this race to salvage Abia? Why should I have the? But I don't need to worry. I told him, please, you shouldn't worry about me. God is the giver of strength and health. I will endure this pain because my aim is to make sure that I make Abia great again. So the second time he was talking to me, said there was an arrangement to do accreditation at Kopin, and then go to Villaroy Hotel and then do the voting. But let him go and see what the chairman of the party is doing at Villaroy. So I wondered. The electoral guideline says you must choose a venue and convey it to INEC.
Yes, and there is a day of notice, a number of days that that notice should be given INEC.
So once I entered the hall, I now saw there's a representative from INEC from Abuja and that of the state. They were always
That's
seated.
at Kolpin.
At Kolpin.
Okay.
Everybody was just seated. And police, the area commander, everybody was just there. So everything was, a DSS came with all the paraphernalia of the office and blocked up all the entrance of the copy. So we were allowed to go and sit. Electoral committee were there, and they said they were waiting for photocopies. They prepared, and the secretary, when the chairman spoke, said we're about starting. Already Udesi said, who told me to go to Villaroy to check where we're going to. election is ready. So I told him, why are you going elsewhere? Because you are going against the electoral guideline. So he left. So I called him on phone. And there was so much people shouting where he was. I told him, we have started we're about starting. He dropped the phone. Similarly, all the other people contacted him, and later he stopped taking calls. So the chairman says, where is Udensi? We are starting. He said he went to inspect that place that was cancelled, that there was no way you could go out of coping. So now we started the election, the accreditation. So they gave us where to sit. Therefore, at the remaining Udensi's chair, to be there. So we're waiting for him to come back. Had already the chairman was on his way back, the chairman of the state party. So accreditation started, and vote. While we were about the 9 states, we saw 9 local governments. What we now saw was on the that Udensi has won that ticket. According to the English used wrong, is opposed 400 and something votes, and that he has won the contest. I think he did not give any. He just called himself. How can you be unopposed? And he did not announce how many people that partook in that election. So what I gathered eventually is that he tried his best to take away INEC officers from the venue, and when that failed, he started doing all sorts of lobby. He failed, then he ran away because he never met with any of the delegates. He never cared. He doesn't know what was going on. They said he complained, according to what I heard, that's the list from Abuja. They told him that this is an internal party affair, that the list had been sent from Abuja, and this is what they're going to use to conduct the election. Me, I have nothing to really bother again, because I'm leaving it to God, and this is the only person I commune with. The thing continued until all the local governments completed voting, and they started counting. And the chairman of our party, the chairman of the electoral committee, attention was drawn to what Udensi has said. So I don't have the right to comment, but the chairman, there's a live video streaming. Everything that was going on in that hall was streamed to the whole world. And they denied that somebody has emerged and that a process was still going on. So if you go to the internet, you will see the process was still going on from the time he ran away and announced himself winner, and the time we closed where the whole Abians were. You know that something has gone wrong with his type of thinking. So till that one was finished and they started counting, I was busy reciting my prayers to God and saying, God, help me out. If you love Abia, help me out to make development work in Abia. Let the trust that I'll have with their covenant with me and them. So they started counting. Even a Tigwe that rejected initially and was not clear, that was cleared 1 week to
the primary. Yes.
Yes, he set up wonderful. He brought serious media groups from Port Harcourt. There was live streaming. There was big lights television that everything place was on recorded. They had black magic, everything. I was thanking him for making this possible.
When the process, how did you feel at the point when the process was ongoing? Because what we could hear from our end here, and we're just saying it's uwa, Uwa, then you hear Ibe at some point. How did you feel at that point? Because it was now looking as if you were going to lose. So how did you feel at that point?
Look, when they were called Uwa,
yes,
while I stayed with him, I was clapping for him. I was clapping. Anytime they call Uwa, I clapped. And he was with me. He was seeing me clap for him.
He's your closest rival in this contest that finally led you.
Then I told him, look, you tried, man. You are doing well. Then I told my staff that this guy has done extremely well. And moreover, the arrangement so far put by him marvelous, because I did not make those arrangements myself. So the evidence is on radio, on media.
Okay,
I didn't have it.
Prof, it brings me to the next question. Will you work with other aspirants to deliver Abia for Abga now that they've lost, including Sachikwe Udensi, who organized the parallel primary somewhere?
There was no parallel. The language.
Okay, there was an exercise somewhere. Maybe I'm not comfortable with language I'm using this morning. There was an exercise somewhere. So
there was a personal announcement.
Okay, you call it a personal announcement. All right.
It's a personal announcement. It had nothing to do with parallel. There was no parallel.
All right. Will you?
Every local government was fully represented with the party chairman. Even the Arochukwu people equally voted. So whatever he did himself was a personal issue.
Will you work with other aspirants, including Otigo? All right.
Account of what happened. So when they called Owa and called Ibe, I first had to go and ease myself and came back, and we sat down and keep on thanking God that at least between me and Owa, any candidate can serve the state. And moreover, at that stage, I normally give myself to God. I said, any decision out here, we have signed it back with the party. Anything I take, if I just believe in what I will do, God will answer. So when I hear Ibe, and at the end, when I won, and I called upon, tears of joy came into my eyes. Went up and they congratulated me, and we took pictures. I addressed Abians, and Otigwe walked up to me, held my hand. We took pictures. He said congratulations, and he left. I was looking for General. I walked down. He was giving an interview. I called him General. We stood together while we were taking picture. I now knew he was a little bit upset. But again, I told him this is politics. This is the open, transparent, because he said once it's open and transparent, he has nothing to complain about. Okay. So I said, thank you very much, sir. He left. What came up from my mouth was, I need you to come and help me salvage this our Abia state. The same thing I told Etigwe. Earlier, I had sent messages and emissaries to Udensi to be the leader of our party, and he turned it down. I have evidences, and I don't want to mention names of people I sent to him. Again, I'm not just calling 3 of them. I am calling all women Abians across the party line. The PDP stakeholders, Abia stakeholders, everybody who feels terrible about the state of our Abia should please come on board so that we can use Abga Party Ndị Igbo Onyaghala nwanne ya nke a bụ nke anyị APGA to turn around the fortunes of my state Abia. I want to make Abia beat any other state in Southeast because we have all it takes. So I was prepared, and God gave me this opportunity, and I will not fail Abians. And every Abians that I'm a tested and tried human being who has capacity and who has shown all it takes.
Okay, Prof, I have some other questions to ask you this morning. In case you just joined us, it is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions on Flow 94.9 FM. We're speaking with Professor Gregory Ibe, the founder and the chancellor of Gregory University. He's now the candidate, the gubernatorial candidate of the All Progressive Grand Alliance in Abia State for the 2023 general elections. That will take place in the month of March. We're counting down to that already. But Prof, let's talk about the menace of godfatherism in Nigerian politics. Needless to emphasize that for you to achieve some level of recognition and occupy some juicy political positions, you must have a godfather. Just like the role of godfather is undeniably a crucial one in the mafia empire in the Western world, so also there is undeniably a crucial role a godfather plays in the survival and the ascension to the throne of his political protege in politics in Nigeria. Who is your godfather? Do you have a godfather in this business called politics?
I thought I've told you who is my godfather.
Okay.
I told you at each point of this process, I was talking to my godfather. And that is God, my Lord Jesus. That's my godfather. And to add also some answers to what you've said.
Yes.
Abians are my godfather because democracy is defined as government for the people, for the people.
By the people.
So I will not in any form, I don't have any godfather anywhere except Almighty God. He directs where we go and what we do.
Interesting. So another question I would like to ask you this morning is your physical fitness. At some point when you narrated what happened at the ground, you said Sachiko Densi questioned why you're stressing yourself. You're just out of surgery. You're not yet physically fit. You should just step aside for the question is, are you physically fit? You know, it's a question that is being asked by Nigerians even at the national level. At some point Tinubu's fitness was questioned, and they're saying we don't want any old man to rule us again in this country. Now, how fit are you to change Abia State? That's a question I believe Abians we would like to have an answer to.
Only sometimes your comparison doesn't fit in.
Okay.
I'm 58 years old, and I don't know the man you were trying to compare me with.
I'm not comparing with you and anyone. I'm only saying what Nigerians, I mean, the direction Nigerians are thinking towards at this point in time.
Before this surgery, everybody in the state knows whom he is. I am a workhorse. I work from 7 a.m. till the next day standing, and I built Gregory University too. I'm a teacher. I stop in the university hours upon hours teach my students. Somehow, as a weightlifter that I came and I had a muscle tear, and it's not something you need to play with. I had to go and get it through. Getting that surgery, politics started. So I came back here with it. Has this condition stopped me from running my university or running my companies, the best innovation center in Africa that attracted the U.S. Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, to Nigeria? He spent 3 hours with me. Has it stopped the U.S. Foreign Affairs to come to Nigeria to confer with me in my innovation hub? Has it stopped me from doing my job in ECOWAS or in African Development Bank? Has it stopped me from going down to all the local governments in Abia State? I did it in 17 local governments when I was still PDP, and I did it again in Abia. Again, note, one of my assurances,
yes,
is that a U.S. president was on wheelchair and is reckoned to be one of the best president America ever had. But I'm not in wheelchair, and I remain, by the special grace of God, one person who is not having a BP. I don't have sugar problem. I don't take medicine. But when this started a few years ago, and then I had to get injured where I'm doing my gym. So I felt God has tried to slow me down, and according to a few of my friends, they said I'm always everywhere at every time. That God has slowed me down so that I can take all my strength to salvage my state, Abia. So anybody that is talking about health situation, I don't want anybody bad, but I am the first person in Abia State that cares about anybody's health. I have a master's degree on healthcare management, and God uses that to first ask me, this is how it is. You must solve problems of people that have ill health. So I believe that I'm passing through this process because the health of Abians will be number one.
Yes.
In just a few months, they will see. In few months, I will rush now for them to see, because I have strained it in the past few months, trying to let Abians know that I'm ready to sacrifice all that I have with this pain to make sure that Abia becomes a place to be in.
All right. So sincerity is also very important as one of the qualities of a leader, which you've exhibited this morning to talk about your personal life. Let's look at the chances of All Progressive Grand Alliance in Abia. PDP has been in power in the state right from 1999, and it may not be a walkover rather, if Abga should take over. Although we all know that Abga is part in Dibo, which may play a factor in you emerging as the governor of Abia State. Do you think Abga is grounded enough to take over power in the state? PDP has been in the helm of affairs right from 1999.
Only you've also been in the state for a while. 1 year ago, were you hearing of Abga? They were low. I entered Abga. What is happening in the state? Abga is up, and it is courtesy Jesus. Anybody in any party, my name, by the grace of God, clears all doubts. You cannot compare me with any other name by the special grace of God, because all my friends, all my brothers, all my elders, everything I've ever done, I've done for the Igbos. I think home. I am the director of research and development for Abia elders. I was once their secretary. I am the consultant on 2014 National Conference for Igbo. I'm strategic consultant to Hanese. I organized the 50-year vision document for Igbo in my university on World Igbo Summit. I'm the first to open a center for Igbo Renaissance funding. Everything my people wanted, I stood for it. I'm the first to fight for Igbo presidency for 7 years. The governors were against me. They fought hell out of me. I spent millions of money to organize ethnic nationalities meeting on 5th of March 2020 at Sheraton, Abuja. I paid from my head and nose. I paid from my pocket. When you invite Igbos to come, it's time for us to build this network. They refused. When they feel it matters most, these guys will jump out and want the president. They call meetings, they don't involve me. They forgot that I am just an Abian who has served all Nigerian military head of state and president since age of 23 while I've been in Abuja. If we go by Igbo language,
yes,
the experience I have by being a workaholic and being in government and having been cooking before they came to Abuja, I have more older pots, more than any of them. And my happiness is that there's no Igbo elder that you will call my name that will say that I have never assisted the person before in Abuja. Abga winning in Abia. It's just a matter of let's go to the polls. Abians will respond. There's no godfatherism now.
All
They
right.
know that their money will work for them. I'm responsible to Abia and the Abians. Let their money work for them. Let development come in all local governments. No child will be left behind. No old man, no pensioner in Abia State will suffer. I have given mandates within a threshold of 1 year. I must make sure that I clear their doubts. It is difficult for an old man to live without money. And I saw it happening in Abia State. Old men who are senior citizens of the state, who have served the state, are living without money. They cannot buy APC, Panadol. They cannot eat because their money is held down. My confidence is that we will do nothing than to make sure that an old man stays with money who has served our state. The young ones that can live without money, we will create wealth around them. This is what my promise is for my people in Abia.
All right, Prof. We need to take a break. When we return, we are going to get reactions from our feedback platforms, both the terrestrial and digital platforms. We're live on Facebook, facebook.com/Flow949FM. You can call us on 0808-182-6949 or 0811-605-2949. We've been speaking with Professor Gregory Ibe, the governorship aspirant under the platform of the All Progressive Grand Alliance right here in Abia State. He's been speaking about the governorship candidate, rather. Apologies for that. The governorship candidate for the All Progressive Grand Alliance right here in Abia State.
And not mind, only.
Yes, Prof.
Not mind, say governorship candidate of Abga and Abia.
All right. All right. Governorship candidate of Abia and Abias. We need to take a break. When we return, we're going to get reactions from the feedback platforms. Stay tuned. All right. Let's get to hear from you. Of course, you heard Professor Gregory Ibe, the Abga governorship candidate for Abia State, and talk about his aspiration and what he intends doing for Abians, and of course some other issues surrounding his emergence as the candidate of the All Progressive Grand Alliance for the 2023 general elections in Abia State. Let's hear from you. What do you make of our conversation? Hello, good morning to you. Welcome to the platform.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Vicky Moore.
Good morning, our guest.
Go on with your contribution, please.
Okay, I heard all he said. I just said that has been suffered for many years for bad leadership, that's tribalism. And if you can do what you say, because a lot of them do come and promise something. You see, one thing is to promise something and to do it. If you can do that, sure that Abia will vote for you, just like other, Alex Oti tried for many years to make sure that he will lead Abia, but Abia governor refused. In fact, I will say they refused, governor refused him. So can them refuse him? That's my question. Can them accept you for you if you need for you to
all right,
come
Vicky Moore. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, sir. My name is Evangelist Ken. I'm calling from Umuahia. I have three things to your guest.
I will have to take just one question because of our time. Go on, please.
No, I think it's 1 minute now. One of it is this. People will call and begin to tell you when you were in PDP, were you not there when they're messing up? Don't answer them. When God called Abraham, he called him in old age. He didn't call a young man. 2, 3. Prepare your agents very well. Don't allow your agent to destroy your winnings. In other words, God bless you.
All right, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts with us. Have a good morning to you. This one says, thank you, Mike, for allowing the guests to flow to us on the incident that happened yesterday. God bless you. You're indeed Mercurial Intelligence Pinnacle. Good morning, Mike and Prof. From what you said on air, your relationship with God, please stand by your word to salvage Abia so that God and man will remember you after your tenure. Ikena Udensi. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Mike.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Good opportunity. I'm calling from Mumbai.
All right.
Actually, I want to congratulate the flag bearer, after flag bearer, Gregory for his emergency. Whatever be the case, let them resolve their issue. Let him reach out to other candidates and ensure that they put their house in order for the contest. And I also want him to remain in Abia. Not tomorrow, when he emerges as the governor, he will become and be fed to another party. Let him remain in Abia, in as much as he has accepted to be in Abia, and that Abia is an Igbo party. Let him remain there. That is my take.
All right, thank you for your take, Chinedu, Mr. Chinedu. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Professor.
Good morning, sir.
Since yesterday, the emerging of Professor, you can see the reaction of people, the Abians. The present situation in other states and politics now, we don't need name or party. What we need now is credible candidates. A person that will carry everybody along and attract investors in the state. Pay pensioners, pay workers. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. David from Umahia says, as far back as 2008, Professor Ibe under his office, Kill G donated science equipment to Abians, which Senator Tio Oji officially received them. I was the MC at that ceremony. Thank you, David, for sharing your thoughts with us. Hello, good morning. Hello. All right, we have to move on. Hello, good morning to you. Welcome to the platform. Thank you for joining us. What's your name and where you calling from, please? All right, we have to move on. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, Michael.
Good morning to you.
Good morning, Prof. My name is Steve Onyif. I'm calling from Iguano.
All right.
Yes, I've heard all that Prof had said, and what he said is true. He provided succor to people during the COVID era. But what I want to say is, let it not be the promise of a fowl to a hen. Like Ibazo did when he was campaigning. He promised heaven on earth. But what we are seeing is a pure bad dash because salaries are not being paid. The workers' salaries are slashed into two. And yet they have promised to pay them are not forthcoming. He promised good news to the people of Iguano, promised to build cocoa industry at Ibere. But all those things, we have not yet to see it come to reality. So let's Prof prepare very well because he's going to meet a very stiff opposition from those who think that Abia is in their pocket. So God be with him. Prof, right on.
All right, thank you very much. Real on our Facebook page says, thank you, Prof. I'm a student of APSU, and Prof was is the one who has done something visible to get bulldozers to clear the forest around Uturu Road, helping in fight to help fight the kidnap. God of Abians is with you, Prof. Kalu Okwagu says, Prof has the capacity to move Abia forward. He's a workaholic. And this one says, Prof, good morning. My name is Sonny from Umahia. I see Prof going back to PDP if he wins. Time will not permit us to continue with the reactions on our feedback platform. But Prof, I'm sure you want to react to some of the comments on our platforms.
Yes, last one that he sees me going into PDP. Forget it. I assure you. Remember that I'm only a prince. My father just died. He's a traditional ruler, and have discipline in my blood, and that's why I was able, from the age of 21, to start as an accountant and to get to where I am today. No way I can return back to PDP. I don't join issues with anybody, but I know that Abians need my competence and my training, and to make sure they are happy and nobody is left behind. So just rest assured that only Ahiabu, a rim, the umbilical cord that binds every Igbo man together, cannot live in the Igbo, because whom will I cut his umbilical cord? Nobody. We shall all be together.
All right.
And then another one from, I thank the man that remembered was MC when I personally donated science equipment to all the secondary schools in the state. In 2008, was I seeking anything? I've almost forgotten what I was doing to support the government. And somebody cannot use that I was once in PDP and then use it to judge me, because I was consultant to the UN for President Obasanjo. I did all the reforms, education, public service reform of the federal government. I was on railway, review of railway master plan. I was consultant on marriage education. I was consultant on trade and development in the Federal Ministry of Trade. So I've done so much for my country that I've experienced to deal with.
All right, Prof. I'm afraid our time is fast spent, but we will continue this conversation as event unfolds concerning your aspiration to become the governor of Abia State. We wish you all the best as you slug it out with other contestants in other political parties. We have about 17 of them in Nigeria, about 18 rather. We wish you all the best. Professor Gregory Ibe, thank you so much for speaking to us this morning on the platform on Flow FM.
I urge all Abians to please tune to Flow FM.
All right.
Flow FM makes sense. Flow FM is a station to listen to if you need the facts.
Oh,
thank you, Flow FM.
Thank you so much for the endorsement, Prof. we do appreciate you. All right. Thank you for joining us this morning on the platform, the pinnacle of all discussions, right here on Flow 94.9 FM. The program returns on Wednesday. Many thanks to my guest, Professor Gregory Ibe, and also my producer, Samson Eze, Wisdom Thomas, and Eze Neokoro, and the guys behind the visuals on our Facebook page, Stanley and Tinedu. Do enjoy the rest of your day. Stay out of trouble. My name is Michael Oni.